Hola a todos, hoy estamos en el aviario, en un aviario de Lizard. Hoy vamos a ver el aviario de Ian. Tiene unos Lizard algo increíbles. Ha amanecido el día lloviendo, una pena. Other question.
You wanted to raise the blue question, didn't you?
No, no, mention the last question, maybe. This is a attendance in England. The always the lizard canary, the classic lizard canary is at the red factor. It's a now tendency the no factor and so. What is your opinion? Do you prefer the red factor or prefer the normal color?
Yeah. I like them both.
Yeah.
It's easier not to colour feed.
Yes.
You just feed the birds, leave them, they're fine. The colour comes through, but it needs to have a good colour if it's a non-colour fed bird. It needs to have a good ground colour, otherwise it can look very pale. I have seen birds that don't have a good ground colour when they're not colour fed, and they look rather pale, rather washed out. But I like both of them. I've got, it's one of those things that is being pushed in the UK now, in that non-colour feeding is starting to come into fashion over here. And I suspect that a lot of people will fall in line with that because it is easier.
Yeah, I know.
Having worked out how to colour feed and how to get a nice colour on the birds, I'm tempted to continue to colour feed and not to split my stock, because the colour fed bird does look nice. It's quite bright and vibrant compared to the other birds that are not colour fed. So I'm at the moment I'm going to be sticking with.
But is for tradition or maybe?
It's not in the rules. It's a tradition within the UK that birds, and this is where it gets complicated. The original guidance was the birds should be colour fed, which in English means you may or you may not.
Yeah.
But in England everybody read that as to mean you must colour feed, and the rule has now been changed to must for the official lizard shows.
Because I think this year is a change in the rules, and it's possible this year colour feed or no colour feed.
Lots of shows are doing that now, but the official Lizard Canary Association rule is still colour feed.
Colour feed.
At the moment. That might change, I don't know, but it's still must colour feed in the UK. I do like the colour fed birds. I like the non-colour fed birds as long as they've got a good strong ground colour. But while the rule is as it is, I will colour feed so I can show my birds at the Lizard Canary Association shows. If the rule changes, I'll probably still colour feed.
I think the color field with the lizard is more impressive.
It does stand out, yes, when you get the gold, in
Yeah.
the chestnut colour coming through. It does stand out very well, yes. But equally, the green bird, the non-colour fed bird, if you have a good ground colour on that bird, it still looks impressive.
Okay. The last question.
Blues. Exactly.
And I think it's the tendency with the LCA. I think the tendency they don't recognize the blue lizard, because the traditional lizard is the red factor and the normal lizard, and the blue don't like that. What is your opinion with the blue lizard?
People will always breed what they want to breed. We've seen that in the colour canaries. You can get dozens and dozens and dozens of colours, and new colours are cropping up all the time, which is fine. The problem is that with the crossbreeding, using Gloucesters or Fives or Borders or whatever's been used, you carry in a whole raft of genes that you might not see this year, you might not see next year, but the year afterwards, if you're crossing the birds, they'll pop out and damage the bird. That's my issue, that people are crossbreeding and saying that there isn't a problem, and there is, because the genes sit there for years and years, and it's virtually impossible to outbreed the Border gene or the Fife gene or the Gloucester gene from the bird, and eventually it will come back and you'll have problems with the lizard.
Yeah, because there is one important person in England, Stan Bolton, and I think Stan Bolton breed the blue lizard and the normal lizard, traditional lizard. And you think it's good for the lizard, or I think it's a many problem with the blue and the traditional lizard together?
The blue breeders are purebred birds if they're blue.
Yeah.
Which tells me that if they're not using one of the birds that's come from their crossings, then there might well be a problem there somewhere. I don't like the idea of crossbreeding. I don't like with the lizard. I don't like the idea of people selling on the birds when they're not true lizards. They've got crossbred in them. That's the big issue, that lots of birds out there are not pure.
Sorry.
No, if people want to breed blue lizards,
I think
they can do.
the Dennis Allen is the first people is introduced the blue lizard in England, but I think, or I told me, the David Allen is across the one white 5 with the lizard for introduce the white in the lizard. And I think it's, I don't know why not use the European, I don't know why not use European lizard, blue lizard, when the European blue lizard is maybe it's right.
It's been there longer, a lot longer.
Yeah.
I still think though that the genetics is very complicated and very complex, and even after 10 years or 15 years or 20 years, there are genes from the original bird that are not lizard genes, that if you put one of those birds with another one of those birds, those genes will come together and can manifest themselves, show themselves as a problem. And that can happen years down the line. I've got a bit of I found a study the other day, and it's about red factor canaries. And somebody looked at the genes that carry the red from the siskin into the canary. And they looked at 2 tiny elements of that gene, the bits that carry the red in, and there's a mass of other siskin gene there
Yes.
that's been there, and the red canaries have been around for, I don't know, 80, 90 years?
More.
Or more, but the siskin blood is still in the current red factor canary.
Yeah, because I think when you introduce the red factor in the one canary, I think you have the red factor for many years.
Yeah, you've got to backbreed and backbreed and backbreed, but it's the genetics still show that there's a massive amount of siskin blood still in the red factor canary. Now, my argument is if that happens after 100 years of breeding, you're still getting all the siskin blood. You're going to be getting the genes from the fife that are going to constantly be present and come through eventually.
You think is the manteniment the pure breed in England with the lizard?
I hope there will be enough people to maintain the pure lizard, yes. It's going to be a bit of a challenge, because lots of people like the idea of the bluebird and start to breed bluebirds. But if there are enough people that don't do that and stick to the purebred bird, then hopefully there'll be some around for many years to come.
I think interesting.
Not for me.
Not for
me. No.
I think not for me also. It's alright, not for me. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.